Good morning, dear jury. My name is Ignatowicz and I'm the student of 9th form of Linguistic Gymnasium. Today I am here to represent the results of our research work that is devoted to the issue of the linguistic features of chat messages in the English network. The actuality of this issue lies in the fact that nowadays the language of short message slang is widely used on the internet. This language is not studied in the school curriculum, but it is very popular among the teenagers. That's why we are absolutely sure that this topic must be studied thoroughly. The subject matter of the study is the linguistic and structural features of the short message slang in English. The object of the research is chat as a form of the internet communication. And the aim of my research is to identify the features of English SMS slang and to define the difficulties of its translating into the standard language. The tasks of the work are to study the scientific literature on the issue and consider the difficulties for Russian students to translate them. The current research consists of an introduction, 2 chapters, conclusion, a list of the used sources, and some applications. The first chapter is about the theoretical aspects of the network communication. First of all, we should define the term communication. Communication is the act of sending and changing information via speech, writing, or visuals. The communication module has a sender who is sending the message and a receiver who is receiving it. There are some types of communication. They are verbal communication, non-verbal or interpersonal communication, visual communications, written communication, and informal or informal communication. As for about internet communication, it refers to the number of different ways people can exchange information over the World Wide Web. It includes electronic mail, chats, instant messaging, social networking sites, or voice-over IP programs. Chat language can be justly described as the result of the cosmopolitan culture and internet. It refers to the whole range of abbreviations and smileys. And good examples of saving time are acronyms, such as laughing out loud or oh my god. As for our distinctive features of chat language, they are tone-taking, nicknames, pretty and addressing, spooming, trolling, spamming, and flaming. There are some types of nicknames. The main are one-word nicknames, a whole sentence nicknames, a combination of number nicknames, non-alphabetical symbols nicknames, smileys nicknames, a combination of capital letters nicknames, and lowercase letters nicknames. And there are also some categories of nicknames, such as the legitimate names of the users or their short characterizations, names of famous people or characters, or just animals, flowers, and objects. As for about greeting and addressing, it is rather popular among the new users to use a general greeting, as the rules are rather different from the general rules of etiquette. A common practice for the newcomer is to greet in such a way as "Hi everyone" or "Hello room." When users leave the chat, they use the acronym "Be right back" or "Away from keyboard." As for about tone-taking, it is another type of chat. Its principle is that the users need to be very patient, as it often takes several seconds for the submission to appear on the screen. And here you can see an example of such a dialogue. A short message slang or textis is a term for the abbreviations and slang most commonly used due to the necessary brevity of phone text messages. Besides, its use is common on the internet, including chats, email, and instant messaging. can't help mentioning short message service devices, and among them are abbreviations, acronyms, aphorisms, smileys, use of letters instead of some words similar to them on sounding, or use of digits instead of letters similar to them on sounding. It is also a replacement of a syllable with a letter or a digit, removal of vowels from a word without damage to its sounding, and symbols. There are also some key rules for drawing up SMS reductions. They are to reduce words as far as possible, to use a letter instead of a word, or use a digit instead of letters. And it is also to use abbreviations in long sentences. The second chapter of our research work is devoted to the features of short message slang translation into the standard English language. Here is the research that consists of several stages. Firstly, we define the structural peculiarities of chat language and short message slang of 40 text messages. And then we divide them into three groups, such as abbreviations, graphemes, and shortages. After that, we test students of 7th, 8th, and 9th grades of linguistic gymnasia. Their task is to define the students' skills while translating them. The students have to express the difficulties doing this task. And the results of testing is given in the following diagrams, from which we can see that more than 60% of students have difficulties while translating the abbreviations, and less than 20% of students have difficulties while translating shortages and graphemes. All in all, it's partially proved that the lack of language awareness in linguistic and structural features could make it very difficult for people to understand chat messages in the World Wide Web. And thank you for attention.